Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News on CW18 starts now.
Hurricane Milton moves on, but the powerful storm has left a deadly trail of destruction across the state.
There are flooded roadways. There's roadways that have washed away. You can see the devastation that we took.
Tornado after tornado tearing through communities.
Lived here all my life. I've never seen anything like this. Never that many, one after the other,
Well, it was bad. Once you realized what was happening, it was very scary.
And neighborhoods now underwater after relentless rain.
I called my mom and told my mom I think me and my children are about to drown to death.
Tonight, our crews are scattered across the state with live team coverage of the impact of Hurricane Milton. And tonight, we are getting a brand new look at the exact moments Milton made landfall in southwest Florida. A storm chaser captured these moments in Sarasota, just a few miles from where the hurricane arrived in Siesta Key. Thank you for joining us tonight for WESH 2 News at 10 as we continue to follow the impacts of Milton across Florida. I'm Michelle Imparato.
I'm Jesse Pagan. Right now, more than 1 million Floridians are still in the dark after waking up to their neighborhoods devastated by hurricane-force winds and record rainfall. Tonight, we know at least 12 people lost their lives because of Milton.
4 of those in Volusia County. WESH 2's Haley Crumblehome is live in Ormond Beach, where it is believed that one of those victims died. Haley, what can you tell us?
So it happened here in this neighborhood, and I can tell you that going through this neighborhood, it is just littered with downed trees like this one. And this thing is massive. It's blocking off the entire street, and it's propped up on a fire hydrant here, but it's hanging more than 5 feet tall in this neighborhood. And it's not shocking because the county said today they experienced some gusts of nearly 90 miles an hour. And one of those deaths, like you said, happened in this neighborhood when a tree fell on a woman's home.
We weren't prepared. We didn't think that it was going to be as bad as it ended up being.
Like a number of people in Volusia County Thursday, Jacqueline Rothwell's road was underwater.
The garage started filling up first, then the front of the house, and then soon enough I was like calf deep in water.
The county's emergency manager says Hurricane Milton dumped more than 15 inches of rain on the county. Rothwell, who was home alone with her pets, couldn't keep up.
As this water is filling up, I'm like, okay, we got to plug the hole somehow. We have all the sandbags. We did everything that we could do, and I'm just pushing stuff away, and then eventually it just got so high that you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this. It's all gone.
By Thursday afternoon, first responders had completed around 170 high water rescues in Volusia County, getting people off of roads that looked more like rivers. While for some neighborhoods the water was the worst of it, for others, it was the wind.
Very, very loud, like a cannon.
That's what this man says it sounded like when a tree came down on his daughter's truck. You could barely drive 10 feet in this Ormond Beach neighborhood without seeing another tree Milton took down.
I think if the wind had been blowing just a little bit the other direction, it could have hit the house full on. We're pretty lucky.
But not everyone was so lucky. In the same neighborhood, a tree fell on a home, injuring a man and killing his 79-year-old wife.
It's horrific.
Tragically, this wasn't the only death Volusia County saw from the storm. Sheriff Mike Chitwood says 2 deaths from cardiac incidents are believed to be storm-related. And another woman, a 54-year-old in Port Orange, was also killed when a tree fell on her home.
You're in your own home doing the right thing. That's the danger when you fight Mother Nature. You know, Mother Nature's undefeated.
Now, unfortunately, Sheriff Chitwood says we could potentially see more storm-related deaths in the coming days as this cleanup continues. And in an effort to avoid any further injury with still, debris down on the streets and down wires, they did institute a curfew here in Volusia County. It will be lifted tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Live in Volusia County, Haley Crumblehome, WESH 2 News.
All right, Haley, thank you. Just heartbreaking there. Meanwhile, take a look at this new video that we got from DeLand. Police officers and firefighters worked 14 high water rescues today as Milton left behind major flooding in some neighborhoods. And just a reminder, a county-wide curfew, as Haley just said, in Volusia County is in effect right now. It ends at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And, of course, flooding on Beach Street, local neighborhoods, and road washouts are just some of the concerns that Volusia County is having to contend with after Hurricane Milton.
Yeah, let's go live to WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown in DeLand, where staying off the roads is key right now. Gail?
Absolutely. When you're talking about first responders, utility workers, as well as public works employees, they can't do their job if we are in their way. You know, it's about safety all the way around. Just like behind me, you don't know that Orange Camp Road is flooded, and that's something you don't want to get caught up in. When you have nearly 16 inches of rain fall in one county from a single hurricane, the water's got to go somewhere. Hurricane Milton rains flooded Orange Camp Road into land near the Publix at Country Club Corners. Many cars made it through, but this minivan had to have some help. Volusia County saw road washouts too. Look at Monastery Road near Pineland Court in Orange City, where Terry Dixon has lived for 32 years.
I'm lost. I come out to check my roof and all I saw was my driveway gone.
Look even further. This is Monastery Road. Part of it is gone. And if you think this is bad, I'm going to take you a little bit further down here, because down further, Monastery Road is like totally washed out down here. It is absolutely incredible. This is why Volusia County emergency management officials say stay off the roads while they try to do their job.
It's pretty frustrating. Being without power is more frustrating, though.
Over in Port Orange, there's flooding in the Water's Edge subdivision. Mark Wood shared this video. He's worried about all the flooding.
I'm a diabetic and I'm not able to get out because the flooding is so bad. There's only one way in and out of our development.
He says the water is a good 2 feet deep and reminiscent of Hurricane Ian.
The same thing happened 2 years ago, and it was 4 days before we could get out, and I'm worried that the same thing's going to happen again.
Hurricane Milton also left large holes, caving roads at US 1792 in DeBary, forcing road closures of the north and southbound lanes. The DeBary Golf Course was flooded, and some nearby homes on the course, including Hamilton Hill Estates, are also dealing with flood waters. Another reason to stay off the roadways. We cannot stress it enough. After a storm like this, if you don't have to be out here, don't do it. But if you happen to see something that's a little bit questionable or dangerous, please call your local law enforcement. I'm Gail Pascal-Brown, live in Volusia County. Now back to you.
Gail, thank you. Brevard County also saw some of the most significant damage in our area as Milton made its way across the state.
WESH 2's Tony Atkins has been there for several days now. And Tony, the wind was one of the county's biggest concerns.
Yeah, that's what we heard from emergency management officials here in Brevard County. And when Milton finally hit, it brought an EF1 tornado, leaving behind damage that you see behind me. Morning sunlight revealed the strength of Milton as the storm system pushed through Florida. From shattered storefronts to sunken boats, the amount of damage was evident. Doug Lyons was sad to see one of his favorite restaurants, Mrs. Apple's Crab Shack, was among the wreckage.
It's one of those kind of landmarks. It's like a hidden little treasures that we have here in Merritt Island.
This one really scared us.
In Cocoa Beach, a tornado touched down for 4 minutes, leaving behind a path of destruction.
We were lucky we only had fences come down, but the magnitude and the side was very, very scary.
On Thursday, the cleanup got underway as people boarded up broken windows and picked up debris. The missing roof of this Wells Fargo bank was tossed into a nearby neighborhood half a mile away.
Based on information that we've seen and based on the damage that we've seen, we can estimate that the wind speeds were 85 to 95 miles per hour.
Will Ulrich, the warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Melbourne, says it was a record-breaking day for the state.
So it was a very busy day for us, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go out there and try to determine how many tornadoes actually occurred.
And we also have continued to be in contact with emergency officials here in Brevard County. They say that the worst of the damage from Milton was actually right here in Cocoa Beach. I'm reporting live in Brevard County. Tony Atkins, WESH 2 News.
All right, Tony, thank you. Also in Brevard County, take a look at the damage to the Melbourne-Orlando International Airport. See that right there? Parts of the skylight in the atrium area come crashing to the ground. They've already cleaned up the area and temporary repairs are already happening. The airport still plans to reopen at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
All right, we're going to bring in First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi now to the conversation. Tony, I hate to even bring this up. There has been so much chatter on social media about another storm that's behind Milton. Can we get your take on what the system is, if anything?
Yeah, well, first of all, we wouldn't be having this discussion if there wasn't this chatter, because it's, there's a lot of sensitivity here. But you're right, we have to address the elephant in the room. There's nothing there right now. But when you look at some of our global models, Michelle, they are hinting at some moisture coming in across the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, let me show you what it looks like here between the 15th and the 20th of October. That's going to be the time frame that some of the global models are hinting at moisture developing in the northwestern Caribbean. This is the European version, as a strong front coming in, and then a weak piece of energy getting pulled up towards the north and the east, with another strong cold front here coming into southeast Texas. Now, the GFS was singing a stronger tune here earlier today, but the evening run takes a piece of energy right here at the very, very end. You see the blue, and moves it off towards the west-northwest. So for me, 10 days out, bottom line for me, is this an area of interest we're watching on the long-range global models? Absolutely. Does it mean a storm is going to develop? Absolutely not. Best thing we can do is enjoy the weekend, get our cleanups taken care of here. It's going to take some time, and just wait to see what the models do long term. Now is not the time to say something's going to develop. There's nothing even out there, and I want to make that crystal clear. Just keep checking back in. Hurricane season ends November the 30th.
All right, Tony, thank you. Take a look at this chopper video in Palm Beach County. County Fire there, rescue, responded to multiple tornadoes in several areas of the county yesterday. You could see all of the homes with their roofs torn to shreds there. They had to rescue several people trapped inside homes that were reduced to rubble, and cars that flipped from the strong winds. In nearby St. Lucie County, 6 people died after tornadoes there. We talked with one man about the moment a tornado tore through his neighborhood.
You could feel the pressure of the house on top of it, and audibly the whistling and force coming down. The interior door for my garage, separate from my garage door, actually came open from the pressure, interior of the home, and it lasted about a minute and a half, and it was gone. Walked outside and annihilated, the neighborhood annihilated.
The National Weather Service says 126 tornado warnings were issued throughout the state of Florida Wednesday yesterday.
And our coverage of the impact of Milton continues. Coming up after the break, we head to Hillsborough County.
Came in at like 3 o'clock, and it's like you try calling 911. They're like going, we won't come and pick you up.
We're hearing from those picking up the pieces for the second time in just a matter of weeks. Plus,
hurricane lets you prepare yourself. A tornado just comes out of nowhere.
A rural Florida town devastated by several tornadoes. Despite losing nearly everything, what's still standing and what one family is grateful for. From streets completely underwater to neighborhoods littered with debris. For the second time in just a matter of weeks, the Tampa area is seeing some of the worst hurricane damage. Rescue crews pulled people from their homes surrounded by water. WESH 2's Justin Shecker has been in the area since storm preps started and has a look at the damage there.
Hurricane Milton dumped rain on Tampa for hours Wednesday evening into the early morning. The people living in this neighborhood were caught off guard by the street flooding. Some of them had to wait for hours to be rescued. The relentless rainfall from Hurricane Milton flooded Tampa neighborhoods near the University of South Florida.
Next time, I guess we should pay more attention to the rules and stuff, get out while we can.
This street isn't located in a Hillsborough County evacuation zone. Overnight, Michael Beck says the water started bubbling into his home.
Came in at like 3 o'clock, and it's like you try calling 911. They're like going, we won't come and pick you up.
Thursday afternoon, people could be seen wading in waist-deep water.
You okay, babies?
While Beck was still trapped at home with his 2 dogs.
Then they had rescue boats coming down this way, and I'm like waving at them, and I'm like, you gotta come and pick us up.
Before the state's rescue boat could get to Beck, officers from FWC brought this family to safety.
All right, you go with that?
A short time later, a Tampa police officer arrived to transport them to a local shelter. Next up, it was Beck's turn.
Finally. Thank you. I mean, that's the best I can say. I mean, it's 6 o'clock. 12, 13, 14 hours sitting in water. Trying to worry about these buddies.
As Beck says he hopes to find a pet-friendly shelter, he has nothing but gratitude for the men who rescued him from Milton's flooding.
I want to say thank you. Because you don't know how much it means to people. Because you're just doing your job. But your job means a lot.
In addition to FWC, it has been a busy day for private groups and local law enforcement that went into this floodwater behind me to rescue families impacted by Milton. Reporting in Tampa, I'm Justin Schecker, WESH 2 News.
Justin, thank you. Now, if you got a lot of debris from Milton, make sure you put it on the curb correctly so crews can pick it up faster. Place debris within 10 feet of the curb, not on the sidewalk or in the street. Separate debris into 6 piles. Household garbage, construction debris like drywall, carpet, and furniture, vegetative debris like tree branches and leaves, hazardous waste like oil, paint, and cleaning supplies, and then large appliances like stoves, refrigerators, and water heaters should be in their own pile. And electronics like your TV and computer should also be in their own pile.
In the small rural town of Venus, about 40 miles outside of Clewiston, there we saw this massive tornado. Residents there are just reeling from the destruction left behind by several tornadoes. The typical drive down US 27 is just fields of green, but now it is miles of debris. The Hernandez family has lived in this home since 2006. It is still standing, but everything else they own is gone or ruined.
It hurts because you work so hard to obtain what you have, and then for it to just be gone in minutes, because that's all it took.
The tornado was caught on camera here when it was just miles away before it blew through their neighbor's home and then came right over to theirs. They are now trying to assess and clean up and move forward, hoping what they experienced during Milton will be something that they never have to face again.
It'll be replaced, and if not, we'll simplify our lives, and we're alive and God is good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
We're just grateful that God, saved us and protected us.
Yeah.
Gosh, and we just see these devastating scenes. It's heartbreaking. You have to feel for these people whose lives were just really torn apart.
And for some folks, it was a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
They were doing Helene, and now they've had this. And we're going to get a break, though, right now. The weather's definitely improving. It's a nice, comfortable night out there. A lot of us are doing the cleanup. We want you to be careful, but you're going to have great weather to get that underway over the next couple of days. So let me take you back outside. I want to show you what it looks like here over downtown Orlando as we take a look at our tower cam network. It's nice to see some clouds, but clear skies for the most part here as that drier air is working in, at least through the interior, north and west of DeLand and Sanford and Orlando. Back towards the coast, comfortable temperatures, but there is a little bit of rain. Compliments of the tail end here, the moisture from quickly speeding away Milton and the Caribbean right now is nice and quiet as well. So let's take a look now at what's going on here. Satellite perspective shows things are kind of clearing on out with the intense showers and thunderstorms. We got this northeasterly flow here. That is bringing some moisture back towards our coast. We've got some gusty winds, and the surf is very, very, very rough, not just near shore, but offshore. Back to the rain here, scraping the coast. Look at these wind gusts here the last hour. Still running 25, 35, even close to 40 miles an hour in and around Daytona Beach and northern Brevard County. And on top of that, it's raw. We've got the rain, we've got the wind. Things have cleared out here in Daytona Beach. Still a few sprinkles back towards New Smyrna Beach, down towards Titusville. Right here, Port St. John, that rain is picking on up, and it's trying to build off towards the Viera area and Melbourne. So we'll keep you posted on that during the next half hour here of WESH 2 News on the CW18, and once again over on WESH 2 once we're done here. Coastal concerns, you betcha. High surf advisory through Friday night. Coastal flood warning through 4 p.m. Friday. High rip currents right through the upcoming weekend, folks. So not the best of weekends to be trying to get into the surf there and swim. The weather's going to be nice, but it's going to still be a little bit rough, and we want you to just be mindful of that. Recent wind gust here, 38, Daytona Beach, 23, back towards Titusville. We take a look at the day planner here for tomorrow. This is not bad at all. Look at these values here, running in the low 80s. Could be a quick isolated shower. The out-the-door morning temperatures here in our western communities where the air is just a little bit drier in the 60s. Orlando on east, really not that bad, about 70 to 75 degrees. There's a look now at Futurecast. A couple showers there lingering around the eastern side of the peninsula. One or two of them may try to make it back in through the interior as we go through the next couple days. And you can see even on into Saturday, a few showers there. More clouds coming up from the south. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. Look at these temperatures tomorrow. Normal high 86 for a change. Look at that. We're a little bit below normal. It's going to be a great day to be down at the attractions with temperatures nice and comfortable in the 80s. We head into the weekend. We've got a little front down to the south. A little bit of moisture tries to sneak in our southern communities there on Sunday, but really overall the pattern's not that bad. So let's put it all together here. Some of you have a 3-day weekend as Monday's Columbus Day. Look at those temperatures in the mid 80s, overnight lows in the mid to the upper 60s, and a real taste of fall looking like it's going to arrive Wednesday and Thursday. We may stay in the 70s for highs with 50s north and west.
We're open every night till 10 p.m. during the payment reduction event at Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont.
Right now, we're tracking Milton.
WESH 2 first warning weather.
Monitoring every threat. Warning you first when conditions change.
For the latest on Milton, stay with WESH 2. Download the WESH 2 app to get updates now.
We've shown you nighttime and daytime video of Milton's strong winds ripping off the roof off of Tropicana Field. Now we're getting a look inside. The stadium in St. Petersburg was housing thousands of first responders. Only a few security guards and some staff to make sure the stadium was operating were there when the roof was ripped off and nobody was hurt. That's not the only venue in the Tampa-St. Pete area that saw some damage. The roof of the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater was also damaged by Milton. You can see it there. These pictures from the Hillsborough County Fire Rescue show part of the overhang was blown off. The amphitheater's website does not list any remaining concerts for the rest of the year, so that should give them enough time to make the repairs ahead of the next concert season, we hope.
Next at 10, right now, streets across Central Florida are either covered in water or tree branches. We talked to people in Orange County who are grateful the damage wasn't worse.
Become a Big Bang wordsmith with Sheldon and the gang.
Ranatanata.
Are you making these up or having a stroke?
Just listen and learn. Transient idiopathic arrhythmia.
Holbein's wonderful encephalopathy.
Wow.
Dirty double mother suckler.
What the hell was that?
B to the R to the ISK.
Mitosis.
Pear. Tickle. Pear tickle.
Get smarter one word at a time with the Big Bang Theory. Weeknights at 7 on CW18.
The 2024 playoffs in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Roll on this Saturday. It all goes down in Charlotte Roval, where 8 drivers will advance and 4 others see their title dreams end.
The Xfinity Series never disappoints.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series playoffs.
Saturday at 3:30 on CW18.
Chopper 2, your live eye in the sky, covering breaking news in Central Florida. The biggest stories from every angle, so you never miss a moment. This is what local, live, late-breaking coverage looks like from Chopper 2, and it's only on WESH 2 News. Local, live, late-breaking. WESH 2 News on CW18 starts now.
I called my parents, and I said, Mom and Dad, I've never seen anything like this in Florida. You know, I've been here since 1978, and all of a sudden I heard a rumble, and it was coming again. And I went in the house and I hunkered down and I thought my house was being destroyed.
Right now at 10:30, widespread devastation from Hurricane Milton. From the west coast where the Category 3 storm made landfall to the east coast where an outbreak of tornadoes stretched from south to central Florida for hours. The storm also dumping over a foot of rain in our area. Much of our coast is still underwater tonight. And now crews are working around the clock to rescue people trapped and clean up the damage behind.
Our team coverage continues. Tonight we turn to Seminole County where flooding is a big concern in several neighborhoods.
People living in Altamont Springs say that they want to help protect their homes. WESH 2's Greg Fox is live in the Spring Oaks neighborhood. And Greg, is everyone okay there?
To the best of our knowledge, everybody appears to be okay in the 35 to 40 homes that are here along Little Wekiva Road. Their properties back up to the Little Wekiva River. You can see that mailbox, the water about halfway up. And as we saw people walking and some of them boating down the street, it looked like it was between knee and waist deep water for those people. Certainly they don't have power tonight. Other people in the neighborhood don't have power. They're not happy about that. But most of the people we talked with say they feel fortunate to have gotten through this storm.
I think we did pretty well.
You may remember Chris Pauls. We saw him before Milton boarding up his home in the Tuscaloosa Trails neighborhood. A look around shows the mobile home community fared well in the hurricane, including Paul's home, but he's not so sure he'll try and weather the next big storm after some scary moments.
The first time I really thought to myself, we should have left. And that was right around maybe 11:30 last night.
Earlier, an Altamont Springs Public Works team put up the signs to close Little Wekiva Road after the river washed into the properties of 35 to 40 homes, nearly as high as it was after Hurricane Ian 2 years ago.
Because when they put that in over...
Sabrina Steen and Tony Blackwell think this is a drainage problem, one they say has gotten worse in the 7 years since Hurricane Irma.
Yeah, it's very upsetting because, you know, like she said, she's been here almost 30 years and nothing has been done.
That's
Not a damn thing has been done.
Hardship, you know.
Nothing.
They could certainly come out and fix the drainage systems out here or clear them out or do something more about it. And I've even suggested buying up some of these houses and making a retention pond.
Some residents look across the river and they look at that apartment complex where a retaining wall was added and wonder why the city of Altamont Springs doesn't add a retaining wall on this side of the Little Wekiva River. According to the city manager, they say that's a private property owner or HOA problem.
That covered that fence.
Friendis Torres says he pays taxes and thinks the city should foot the bill.
A retaining wall, I believe that would be a good situation. Yes, I believe
that would fix the problem.
It will help to fix the problem in long term.
The city says any retaining wall would have to be very tall to contain the Little Wekiva River. At the Emergency Operations Center, a truckload of supplies, including diapers and water, were delivered from the office of Congressman Corey Mills for distribution beginning Friday. And as we give you another live look at the flooded properties here and the closed Little Wekiva Road, let's give you a power update. As of a couple of minutes ago, we have got about 15 to 16,000 Florida Power and Light customers in Seminole County still without power. And that number is about 54,000 for Duke Energy customers. They have the lion's share of customers in Seminole County. They are still out and they're working on that tonight. Live in Seminole County, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
Greg, thank you. Now take a look at this flooding at the U-Haul storage unit on Orange Blossom Trail. Byron Morgan sent us this video. He runs his auto business out of this unit and doesn't know when he can get back to work because of this flooding. The biggest impacts seen in Orange County with rainfall. They got anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of rain.
WESH 2's Michelle Meredith is continuing our team coverage tonight in Orange County. Michelle, walk us through what you've been seeing.
Well, you know, as you just heard, so many counties in Florida were hit so much harder than Orange County, but Orange County did take a licking. Roads that look like rivers, trees yanked out of the ground by their roots, some of the calling cards left by Hurricane Milton in Orange County. Some parts of Azalea Park, the water got so high people were kayaking in the streets. The front door of one house looked like Sandbag City. Now, the folks here in Azalea Park are, believe it or not, grateful because although this time the water came into the streets and up into their yards, it didn't flood their homes like it did with Ian. For Ian, it came up the step.
Yeah, it was over here and the water was probably this high.
Thomas Cook remembers well, and although with Milton he got a break, the rain did cause Lake Azalea to take over parts of his backyard and take in some trees.
You have a house that is designed to survive hurricanes, and yet the water gets up so high that it can start destroying the inside of the house.
Meanwhile, in Winter Park, an old tree couldn't handle the wind, snapped in the middle of Chestnut Avenue. Not really a big deal. But in Orlando, when this massive oak came down, blocking both lanes of Anderson Street, it was a big deal. It's a major thoroughfare. Orlando police posted pictures of them breaking out the chainsaws, hacking away till it was cleared from the road. A strange sight indeed.
I'm a tree lover, and so I hate seeing when they come down, but just how dangerous it can be.
And with hurricanes comes danger, with one family protecting their home with plywood and a Bible passage for good measure. And when it comes to power, over 100,000 customers in Orange County are living without it. Live in Orange County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
Michelle, thank you. First warning, Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi going to join us now.
Yeah, Tony, flooding has been the main focus for a lot of people.
Yep, and with all of that rain, we've seen swells on a lot of our creeks and streams and along the St. Johns River Basin, due in part to this big swath of 10 to 15, 16 inches of rain that fell on the northern side there of Milton, and that's having an effect on, as we said, many rivers. Let's check in now with the Little Wekiva River. As you heard Greg Fox talking about, look, we're at 29.93. It's starting to come down, but we're still in major flood stage here, and we'll drop to moderate flood stage as we get you into Saturday morning. So we're going in the right direction. The worst is over. A little bit different, though, along the St. John's at Astor. Flood stage there, 2.3 feet. Right now, 4.48. And we're going to be at 4.6, probably peaking Friday morning, and then gradually, slowly coming down, but staying in major flood stage here through Saturday. Not much change here either. The St. John's at the land, 501, but increasing its flood stage, getting higher and higher, the river that is, well above flood stage, such that by Saturday and Sunday we are in major flood stage as that portion of the river continues to rise. Now, a little bit farther towards Sanford there, you can see flood stage 5.76 feet. Notice the river here rising right through Saturday, but staying in minor flood stage. One more stop here for you. 772. That's where we're at. Lake Harney along the St. John's. You can see this one's climbing to about 9.7 feet as we get to Saturday evening, keeping us in moderate flood stage. The weather does look dry. We'll continue to update these numbers going forward. Guys, over to you.
Okay, Tony, thank you. Utility companies say it could take longer to get the power back on after two back-to-back hurricanes hitting our state. These crews were staged across the state, ready to get to work as soon as Milton moved on. And here's where things stand in our counties. Volusia County has the most homes and businesses in the dark right now, over 179,000. Orange County has 117,000. Sumter and Osceola have the least outages in our area, around 15,000. You can find an interactive outage map on our website, WESH.com.
A Polk County employee died while working on recovery efforts. It all happened on Brook Road and Highway 98 near Fort Meade. A crew was out clearing roads when a car hit and killed 68-year-old Bruce Kinsler. He served the county for about a decade. The driver was actually another Polk County employee on the way to help that crew in post-storm recovery. That employee was taken to the hospital.
A mother and her 4 children were rescued from rising floodwaters early this morning. This was in Polk County. Just look at this. Amber Henry said the refrigerator in her home started to float, and she and her children sat on top of an oven and a counter to avoid the rising water. With limited options, Amber moved her kids to a neighbor's home where the water only went to her knees. And then a Good Samaritan arrived and used his car's headlights to light up the area to show the family a path out.
When it got up all the way up the window, it got up the window and it started coming in the house from the window, and the refrigerator started floating. I turned out the power. Me and my children hopped on the oven, and once we hopped on the oven, I called my mom and told my mom, I think me and my children are about to drown to death.
Very scary moments there. The family is now at a shelter recovering, and the flooding in Polk County has affected so many homes, with longtime residents saying they have never seen anything like this.
Meantime, St. Lucie County was slammed with tornadoes yesterday. Take a look at this one. Crossed right over the turnpike in Fort Pierce, swept a semi-truck off the road, rolled into the shoulder. The driver was pulled out of the truck by first responders, and they are expected to survive. You also saw the sparks there in that tornado.
6 people are confirmed dead in the Spanish Lakes Country Club Village. This is a retirement community in Fort Pierce. Take a look at this new drone video shot by our sister station there. Entire homes destroyed, some spared from the impacts, but still you could see just how far the debris is scattered. And it was like this across the county. A woman who lives in western St. Lucie County was stunned by the impacts.
I have lived in Florida since 1989.
Yeah.
Never have I experienced damage or the amount of tornadoes that came to this area.
Yeah.
And it was the most frightening thing I've ever lived through.
More than 120 tornado warnings were issued in Florida just yesterday.
He's gonna grab it on the motor. It's okay, Bubba. It's okay.
Officers in Tampa rushed to save 15 people, including several kids you saw there, after a tree crashed down onto their home. The officers got everyone out of the home and took them to a nearby hurricane shelter. Next at 10, roads are still impassable in parts of Lake County.
Some people there tell us that they've never seen a storm like this before. How soon people can expect to see their power return when we come back.
I've not come to bring peace, but a sword.
I guess you're not holding back anymore.
I can't. I'm out of time.
The Chosen, Sunday at 8 on CW18.
I am so proud to be part of our Hispanic community here in Central Florida and to represent us and to remind people, not just during Hispanic Heritage Month, but every single day, that we're here and we're here to contribute and work hard and bring our culture, our music, our food, our language to our community here, because it deserves to be celebrated. And I love that Hispanic Heritage Month gives us an opportunity to have those conversations.
The Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 7, only on CW18.
Right now, people in Mount Dora are trying to clear out all the debris that Milton left behind there.
That's where WESH 2's Luana Munoz found residents who say they've never seen anything like this.
The damage out here in Mount Dora is quite extensive, including flooding, trees on top of homes, and this, a portion of roadway completely washed out.
Nothing ever like this. This is just unbelievable.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Milton, Luis Olivero is in shock. In the 26 years he's lived in Mount Dora, he's never seen anything like this. A massive chunk of Wolf Branch Road completely washed out.
It really got bad around 4:30 this morning, and it really got bad. And and if you look, everything's like pushed over this way.
The town was ravaged by massive flooding that left roads impassable, cars underwater, and down trees and power lines everywhere.
We use these roads every single day. I use this road almost every day to get to school in Orlando. And we use this road for work and everything. So, I mean, it's going to take us a long time to get around.
And look at this home near downtown. This massive tree snapped in two, leaving a roof damaged and 2 cars destroyed.
Then all of a sudden, I heard a loud bang. I was in a deep sleep. I thought I knew something happened outside because I felt the house shook a little bit.
David Acevedo was staying at his parents' home while they were away. He says in the 15 years they've lived there, nothing like this has ever happened.
I feel bad if anything was to happen to my family or my loved ones or anybody that I grew up with, especially around this area. It's a very good community in the area.
We still do not have power, and we're probably thinking it's going to be out for a week.
we've stocked up on gas. We've got everything we need, so hopefully we'll be okay.
Well, at one point, some 6,000 customers were without power. That number has since dropped to just over 1,400. And officials are telling me that everyone should have their power restored no later than Sunday. Reporting in Lake County tonight, I'm Luana Munoz, WESH 2 News.
Luana, thank you. We know all of our schools, our local schools, will stay closed tomorrow. Flagler and Lake counties were the final 2 districts to announce they will stay closed, and they did that announcement just earlier today.
Things are returning to normal for our Central Florida theme parks. Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld all plan to reopen their doors tomorrow. And Tony, we know that people are actually here in our area just visiting. They're on vacation, so that's probably music to their ears that they can go on vacation.
The theme parks are opening back.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I was just reading an article on that. Sorry, I wasn't.
No, that's fine.
And a lot of my friends are texting me, hey, make sure you get that on, so I'll let you guys know.
Oh, yeah, we got it on.
The other thing I was looking for you was the Aurora Borealis.
Okay, can we talk about this? The Northern Lights?
Yeah, so
here?
8 p.m., so it's already ongoing through about 3 a.m. I was just doing some research for you. That's why I wasn't.
I know. I put him on a mission on the commercial break.
But so there's what's called a G5 storm. G5 storm is basically it's a bunch of energy coming from the sun that hits our magnetic field, and that's what can cause us to see the Aurora Borealis. Usually, you have to be pretty far north. But when you charge the atmosphere with these particles, sometimes we could see it way south, like we did a couple months ago.
Okay.
So 8 to 3 a.m.
So we have time.
And it's clear. I think, we do.
Okay,
and that's a solar storm, not a rainstorm, not a windstorm.
We can take that kind of storm right now.
Storm. Lights.
Hey, and nobody has power. They can go outside and watch the solar storm.
I love that positive spin there, Michelle. Let me take you back outside right now. She's full of positive energy right now. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I got to show you the power outages because Greg Fox reminded me to show this tonight in his story right there. And you can see still 100,000 folks in Orange County without power, 140,000 in Polk County, and then up here into Volusia County, 170,000 folks still without power. That's a lot of people still without power, but a lot of folks are working on that to repair that. Our line men and women are out there working overtime, big time, to make sure you get your power back. Thankfully, though, it is nice and comfortable out there compared to where we have been over the last couple of weeks. Let's take a look at those temperatures, 70 to 75 degrees. Water vapor channel shows that drier air in place across the southeast, at least upstairs. Still raining, though, down at the surface, but with each passing hour, we are drying things out as that big storm system pulls well east of us. On the backside of it, still have that northeasterly flow generating here some of those coastal showers. There's Daytona Beach, there's New Smyrna Beach, there's Titusville. We've got the rain coming on down, and it's been a bit gusty here along the eastern side of the peninsula, back towards Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach. Things are clearing on out. Here's the rain. Scottsmore, Titusville, back towards Port St. John, Cocoa Beach, and Melbourne. I think you'll have a little bit of rain here before it's all said and done. Recent wind gust here at the top of the 10 o'clock hour, 23, 38, 28, 18. So we're still a bit breezy out there for sure. We take a look at that day planner for tomorrow. Couldn't rule out an isolated shower. But notice the temperatures here. We're going to be running in the lower 80s after we start out in the 60s north and west and 70 to 75 back towards the south and the east. All right, let's take a look down Futurecast here. You can see overnight tonight, pretty quiet. Tomorrow, few clouds, couple sprinkles. Best rain chances will be down there in Brevard County. We jump ahead now to the beginning of your weekend. You can see a few showers around on Saturday. And then as we work away into Sunday, best rain chances appear to be down across Polk, Osceola, and on into Brevard County. Look at these temperatures tomorrow. Get out there and enjoy it. A lot of folks will still be cleaning on up. We'll be in the upper 70s and the lower 80s here across Central Florida. One more time, if you're headed to the attractions, now that they're open, you're going to be in wonderful, wonderful shape. And the humidity is going to be significantly lower. That makes it even better, right? You're not sweltering like we've been the last couple of months. On into the weekend, outdoor plans Saturday looking good. Sunday, there may be some moisture creeping back up from the south. Keep checking back in if you've got outdoor plans slated for Sunday. I'll give you an update again come tomorrow afternoon. Weekend planner, 83, 85, and just a couple showers there, both Saturday and Sunday, running at about 20%. Your updated 7-day forecast, not bad at all. Look at that. In fact, a true fall front may be arriving on Wednesday and Thursday. Look at those morning temperatures, low 60s, 50s, north and west of town.
What does a morning with WESH 2 News Sunrise look like? It's waking up with the news you need to stay informed.
What's new from overnight?
And the information you can trust.
It's an accurate start to your day from Kelly and class.
I'll tell you exactly what to expect outside.
It's a sense of direction from Megan Mackey.
I'll put you on the best route for your morning commute.
From breaking news
to what's happening around town.
This is what your next morning looks like with WESH 2 News Sunrise. Local, live, late breaking.
People seem to think they know why I'm here. I've not come to bring peace, but a sword.
Feels like the beginning of war.
I don't expect you to understand now. You'll understand in time.
I am the life
that overcomes death.
I guess you're not holding back anymore.
I can't. I'm out of time.
The Chosen, Sunday at 8 on CW18. Become a Big Bang wordsmith with Sheldon and the gang.
Rana Tanada.
Are you making these up or having a stroke?
Just listen and learn. Transient idiopathic arrhythmia.
Bovine spondylofold encephalopathy.
Wow.
Dirty double mother suckler.
What the hell was that?
B to the R to the I escape.
Mitosis.
Pear. Tickle. Pear tickle.
Get smarter one word at a time with the Big Bang Theory. Weeknights at 7 on CW18.
Now, WESH 2 Sports on CW18. Sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltzfus. As you would expect, the sports world not without some changes due to Hurricane Milton, even for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers before their showdown with the Saints Sunday in New Orleans. The Bucs have been in the Big Easy since Tuesday, choosing to evacuate. Today they were practicing at Tulane. It was a typical light Thursday workout as they get set for their second NFC South game this season. Mike Evans has been through this relocation process before. He says the Bucs know this game is bigger than just football.
We obviously have a job to do, so we're going to do that. The games are still going to be played, but that's the hardest thing, just making sure that everybody is good and just we have to come out with that energy. And, we're not even just playing for just football now. We're trying to play for something a little bit bigger.
College football, USF has moved their game against Memphis from Friday to Saturday and now from Tampa to Orlando. They'll play at Camping World Stadium. At the same time, in East Orlando, UCF will host Cincinnati at 3:30 on Saturday. Florida on as scheduled at Tennessee. Miami and Florida State are off this week. As for high school football, no Friday night hits tomorrow. We'll have plenty of games Monday and Tuesday. To hoops, the Magic were supposed to host the Pelicans for their preseason home opener tomorrow night, but the team has canceled that contest. Orlando lost to New Orleans to start the preseason Monday. Did play as scheduled last night in a loss at San Antonio. The team does still expect to play their preseason finale at home next Friday against the Sixers. And finally, the Lightning will still open the season tomorrow night in Carolina against, appropriately enough, the Hurricanes. But Saturday's home opener against the Hurricanes has been postponed. The NHL making that announcement today. The makeup date will be announced as soon as it can be confirmed.
Darren, when you start talking about sports again, it feels like all is right.
Trying to get a little normal.
Yes, thank you for not talking about weather. I appreciate it. Okay, well, we will send it to Tony. But you're supposed to talk about weather. When Darren does it, you know something's wrong.
Oh, I wish we had that look on here. That was priceless. All right, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, dry and much better, guys.
All right, another check of that forecast on WESH 2 News at 11, and of course on Sunrise.